The coolest U.S. presidential firsts. The presidents of the USA are members of an elite club, but they all managed to stand out in one way or another. Many of them made history by being the first to do things, like President Grover Cleveland being the first president to get married at the White House, or President Barack Obama being the first president to publicly support gay marriage. The United States trivia continues with fun facts about American presidents like Bill Clinton, the first to be live-streamed, and Ronald Reagan, the first to be divorced. Number 1. First to nominate a female justice. While Barack Obama made history with his number of female nominations to the Supreme Court, the trend started with President Ronald Reagan. Reagan made history for women's rights when he nominated Sandra Day O'Connor to the court. Number 2. First to not own slaves. When George Washington was in charge, the precedent had been set that the presidents of the United States could and would own other human beings. In fact, of the first 5 presidents, 4 of them were slave owners. The trend, however, took a hiatus with the second president, John Adams, who did not own slaves. Number 3. First to appoint a black justice. While it wasn't until 2008 that America elected a black president, the president first appointed a black justice to the Supreme Court in 1967. On August 30, President Lyndon B. Johnson appointed Justice Thurgood Marshall to the United States Supreme Court. He retired in 1991, 2 years before he passed at the age of 84. Number 4. First born in an actual hospital. On October 1, 1924, President Jimmy Carter's mother made history by birthing a future president at the Wise Clinic in Plains, Georgia. Until that year, no single president had been born in an actual hospital. Number 5. First to argue a case before the Supreme Court. While most people don't know that a former president can even argue a case to the federal court, President John Quincy Adams actually did it in 1840. The man who had formerly been the commander-in-chief and had nominated justices to the Supreme Court ended up making an argument in front of them on behalf of La Amistad captives in the winter of 1840. Number 6. First televised. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was the biggest star on TV when he became the first commander-in-chief to appear on the new medium. Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was already a huge hit on the radio with his fireside chats, appeared on a broadcast of the 1939 World's Fair in New York. Number 7. First to live in the White House. President George Washington never lived in the White House, even though he oversaw its construction. It was the lucky John Adams and his wife Abigail who got to be the first White House residents in 1800. Number 8. First to be sworn in by his own father. It must be a really nice father-son bonding moment when your dad swears you into the U.S. presidency. When President Harding passed, the father of Calvin Coolidge had the distinct honor of swearing in his son. This made President Coolidge not only the first, but also the only, to-date president to be inaugurated by his own father. Number 9. First to have a phone in the White House. The president usually assumes he or she will have access to a telephone, but it wasn't until May 10, 1877, that the White House got one. President Rutherford B. Hayes oversaw the installation of a phone in the White House. Number 10. First to get a code name. Secret Service code names are given to presidents, vice presidents, first ladies, and even locations. President Harry Truman, however, was the first president to actually receive one. The first presidential Secret Service code name was General, until his term ended in 1953. Number 11. First to have slain someone in a duel. Andrew Jackson was the first president who was officially a Democrat, but he was also the first president to slay another man in a duel. In 1806, the future president of the United States challenged Charles Dickinson to a duel because he called him a worthless scoundrel and a coward. Jackson was shot in the process and actually had to deal with chronic pain throughout his presidency as a result. Number 12. First to be assassinated in office. In 1865, Abraham Lincoln's passing was monumental for a wide variety of reasons. Lincoln was the first president to ever be assassinated. John F. Kennedy became the fourth but was actually the second president to experience an assassination attempt, as Andrew Jackson was nearly taken out exactly 30 years prior. Number 13. First to ride in a car. President William McKinley had the honor of being the first sitting president to know what sitting in an automobile felt like. The inventor of the locomobile steam carriage named F.O. Stanley drove President McKinley himself. Number 14. First Catholic. When John F. Kennedy was elected President of the United States, he became the first Roman Catholic to hold the office. Decades later, the late JFK remains the only Roman Catholic president in American history. Number 15. First to have been CIA Director. George H.W. Bush was the first CIA Director turned Commander-in-Chief. In 1989, 41st President George Bush made history by being the first American president to have CIA director on his resume. Number 16. First whose father was also president. It's not that odd for a president to have a son who then goes on to become president, just ask the Bush family. However, this all began when John Quincy Adams became the first American president whose father once held the exact same job as him. Number 17. First to be impeached. On February 24, 1868, Andrew Johnson became the first sitting president to be impeached. He was accused of high crimes and misdemeanors after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, specifically for violating the Tenure of Office Act. Number 18. First to be photographed. Presidential photo ops are now part of the job description, but it wasn't until John Quincy Adams got his photo taken that this was even possible. President Adams became the first sitting president to have his photo taken, which was probably a riveting experience at the time. Number 19. First to get married while in office. John Tyler made history when he remarried after the passing of his wife Letitia. Almost 2 years after her demise, Tyler married to Julia Gardiner. He held the event in New York City, not at the White House, but became the first sitting president to get hitched on the job. Number 20. First to appoint a Jewish justice. There has never been a first Jewish president of the United States, but there was a first Jewish justice on the Supreme Court. In 1916, Louis Brandeis became the first of 7 Jews to be a Supreme Court justice. The appointment was made by President Woodrow Wilson. Number 21. First to hold office as a bachelor. The 15th President of the United States was the original bachelor. James Buchanan was president during the run-up to the Civil War, and his status as a single man throughout his entire presidency made him the first and only bachelor president in the history of the United States, as of 2020. Number 22. First to publicly mention Area 51. On December 8, 2013, Barack Obama said, "I think I just became the first president to ever publicly mention Area 51." He was absolutely correct. At the 2013 Kennedy Center Honors, Obama became the first U.S. president to acknowledge the mysterious region's existence or say the name of the Air Force Base out loud in a public forum. Number 23. First to have a White House wedding. President Grover Cleveland became the first American president to actually get married in the White House itself. On June 2, 1886, President Cleveland married Frances Folsom, who, at 21 years old, became the youngest First Lady in history to date. Number 24. First to resign. President Richard Nixon hung his head in shame when he became the first president in American history to resign from the job. It was a huge blow to the Republican Party, and on August 8, 1974, 61-year-old Nixon left the White House before his term had been completed. Number 25. First former vice president. The frontrunner for the nomination and often the presidency itself is often the current vice president. This trend started with the second president ever. When John Adams became president, he also became the first to have vice president on his resume. Number 26. First African American. President Barack Obama became the first African American to be elected to the presidency when he was inaugurated in 2009. There had never even been, and still has not been, an African American vice president, so Obama's victory was seen as a huge victory for diversity across the globe. Number 27. First to have been divorced. Ronald Reagan was the first divorced president. Though he was remarried to Nancy Reagan before he got the job, President Reagan had married Jane Wyman 4 decades before entering the White House. Wyman became the first ex-wife to miss out on living at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Number 28. First to appoint a Hispanic justice. In 2009, Barack Obama became the first commander-in-chief to nominate a Hispanic justice to serve on the Supreme Court of the United States. It was President Obama's first term and first year as president. Sonia Sotomayor was confirmed and made history. Number 29. First Freemason. George Washington was not only the first president ever, but he was also the first to be a Freemason, belonging to a Masonic lodge. Number 30. First to meet a pope. The current president of the United States meeting up with the current pope has become a standard tradition. This tradition started, however, with Woodrow Wilson when he met Pope Benedict XV in Vatican City on January 4, 1919. Number 31. First to be pardoned. The first pardoned president was Richard Nixon. The first president to pardon a president, therefore, was his vice president turned President Gerald Ford. On September 8, 1974, President Ford pardoned President Nixon for any crimes committed in office, even though Nixon had not yet been indicted or convicted of a single crime. Number 32. First to be publicly pro-gay marriage. The first African American president was also the first pro-gay marriage president. President Barack Obama publicly declared his support for same-sex marriage legalization in America on May 9, 2012, saying, "It should be legal." Number 33. First to appear in a live-streamed broadcast. President Bill Clinton oversaw a technological revolution in what was then called cyberspace. His second inauguration became the first in presidential history to be streamed live on the internet. Number 34. First to write computer code. On December 8, 2014, Barack Obama made history as the first U.S. president to write a line of code. It was all part of the Hour of Code campaign, introduced by Code.org in 2013, and the president took part by typing a couple of lines of JavaScript, a programming language. Thank you for watching. For more videos, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. See you next time.